And hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. Matt, we were away last week. I was in London, but I'm finally back now. I hated missing an episode, but I'm finally here again, and I think we're gonna have a really good show.
I think we are. I think we've got quite a bit to talk about.
Mhm. If you couldn't tell by the thumbnail for this episode, one thing Matt and I have been doing a lot of is playing Red Dead Redemption 2, and I imagine many people out there in our audience have been doing the same.
I imagine a lot of people have, seeing is that in its first 3 days of sale, it made some like $800 million or something.
Some ridiculous sum of money, which again, the fact that, games are so much more expensive now doesn't surprise me. This is like something where it's like, hey, you want the big fancy collector's edition with all the shit? Yeah, this is gonna be like $200 Canadian. Okay.
Yeah. I ended up getting the Ultimate Edition for it, and yeah, it cost me about $150.
I need that grizzled outlaw outfit, and I need the volcanic pistol and the pump action shotgun to be available right away. And it was good.
Yes, it was.
What's the craziest thing that you've realized in Red Dead Redemption? Because for me, it's just like you keep getting surprised by these moments of detail where it's like, wow, someone actually programmed that into a game.
Yeah, there's so many of them to choose from. The coolest one is probably, or the one that I really liked because it was just so creepy, is probably the feral man who's like, you
Mm,
can see in like the woods, who is kind of like a wolf man. And
nice,
I like shot him. I probably shouldn't have, but like if you
of
follow him
course.
back to his like den, you can
Layer.
like read his journal and like his story and everything, which is pretty cool.
There's a lot of stuff like that. I'm even talking just like even smaller things like, okay, I want to shoot my gun now. Oh, I have to aim it and then he has to cock it because
Yeah,
they're all old-timey guns. And he does that every time. Or like the Nathan Drake thing of like, ooh, I'm walking through the swamp. Oh, only half my clothes are wet.
yeah. All those little yeah, they wet and they stay wet for a while until you go to a drier place.
What blew me away, because obviously, well, I want the ammo bandolier around my guy. Oh, bullets appear and disappear as I use and pick
Yeah,
up ammo.
yeah.
Holy shit.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
That's amazing. I feel bad for the developer. Well, that was his job for 5 years straight. Make sure this ammo belt thing works. Or the fact that your hat gets knocked off in fights and you can go back for your
The
hat.
hat gets knocked off and the bullet holes stay in it.
Yep, that's pure insanity. I cannot believe that that is actually a thing. You have way more customization options on Arthur than you ever did John. You can shave, you can cut his hair, and in fact, because of November, I actually took a page out of Arthur Morgan's book and I shaved.
See, I didn't. I made my character grow the beard all the way to the length, to the, I think it was like level 10 or something. It's huge,
Ooh.
but then I cut it off. Oh wait, no, I didn't cut it off. I did a mission, and it was on like a steamboat, and you needed to dress fancy, and
Ah.
one of the parts was having to shave. So I was like, God damn it!
The game does a lot of that actually. The one thing that I will admit, because I think everyone's sharing it with praise and it is great and it is deserved, I hate that it keeps changing my loadout. That's a little annoying.
Yeah,
I'll pick my loadout on my horse, I'll get somewhere, then they're like, "No, we don't want you to have those weapons. We want you to have these
I
weapons."
I think they did that just for like mass appeal. So like the average gamer isn't like saying like, oh, well, why didn't it give me these weapons? I want to be handheld or something, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can always tell when there's going to be a big shit fight happening because like, oh, he's got the Kakado rifle and he's back.
To where I'm like, "Hey man, I spent $200 of in-game money to silver plate my double-barreled shotgun and put a picture of a grizzly bear on it. I want to carry this pimp gun into battle with me. Stop making me take the much more useful pump action shotgun. I want to go into battle with my greatly weak but super awesome looking weapons." That's what I would. Oh god, the hunting system in the game to get the
It's so
perfect pelt
cool.
and everything. They put a full hunting game inside this game.
Yeah, not just like hunting those type like game and everything, but also like fish. Like the fishing in the game is really good.
Several times the game made me go on fishing missions with guys from the camp, and I'm like, this is bullshit. I don't want to fish. And then I'm like, oh, but I can get another one though. Oh, I can get it. It's that thing of it's easy to learn but difficult to master.
Yeah, yeah.
They nailed that on everything. Ooh, this is maybe the first Rockstar game ever in their big open world shoot 'em up games where I think they've actually developed a worthwhile combat system to put in there, like a melee punchy system.
It's much better than it was in GTA 5. Like GTA 5
Yeah,
felt like it was just like a tack on and never felt
because it always
like
was.
real. But yeah, this one you're constantly getting into like punch ups and streets and
Mm.
everything, and it's really great. And
It
the
is.
best thing as well, I noticed it because like when you're in those fights, you can pull your gun on them, and the guys will actually go
Yes.
for your gun and grab it and try and like get it out of your hand, which I think is
There's
really
a
cool.
That is really, really cool. I'm like, man, you actually built a really interesting like rock paper scissors combat system here where you can duck and weave and grapple and do everything else. And I'm like, man, I can see why you're proud of this, because sometimes they'll be like, hey, this is a fight section of it now. You can't reach your guns. You gotta punch them.
Yeah, yeah. So well detailed. It was definitely worth the wait of what, 5 years.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And hey, if you really like the story and the characters, this one tells a really interesting tale. Especially if you really, really liked John Marston. I think this one has some interesting little twists and turns in the narrative, because Arthur Morgan, as you join the game, doesn't like John Marston very much.
No, and for good reasons as well. We find out a little bit more about that as we go on. But yeah, I finished the story, and I got to say it's probably the best Rockstar story since probably the first Red Dead.
I'm feeling that too, and what's really interesting about this one, it's surprisingly, because like even like all their games have kind of been like broad satires. Even Red Dead 1 was kind of like a broad satire of the Western
Hmm.
genre. This one is very what's the opposite of cynical? This one is very
It's
I work online. I don't know the opposite of cynical.
just say like realistic. Like it's not.
Earnest.
Yeah, yeah,
Earnest. It's probably the most earnest story the Housers have ever written. They actually believed in this enough to drop the veneer of cynicism and satire, and there's actual emotions, like real emotions of people
yeah.
feeling things. Not to say the other games didn't have those, they did, but here they come more faster and more furious.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually thinking about that when I was playing it. I was like, this game isn't really like with GTA and everything. You've got like that satire of like certain stereotypes of like in
Yes.
GTA 5 they have the Hollywood stereotypes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But this doesn't particularly have that. And
No,
I
this
enjoyed it because it wasn't that. It wasn't the exact same. Because I thought
yeah.
going in, I'm like, oh, it's going to be kind of like the other Rockstar games.
They really, it's nice to say that as writers, the Housers and their team have actually only gotten better as time goes
Hmm.
on,
Yep, yep.
and that they've learned from all their other stories. But hey, we are a comic book podcast. We just wanted to gush a little bit about Red Dead, because that's it. Usually Matt and I say, hey, what have you been doing with your week? And this time it's, what have you been doing with your, been playing Red Dead.
Yeah, non-stop. And I'm sure we're going to talk about it even more in the future because online comes out very soon.
That's right. That I like too. It's like, look, we have this great what is it, single player mode we want you to enjoy. We'll release the online stuff later.
That's a good idea. It's a good idea.
It really, really is. But yes, we actually do have a fairly decent offering of news, everyone. I think you'll enjoy it. So let's get to it, shall we?
Let's get to it.
So, some rather depressing news to start here. Insider reports claim that Daredevil's viewership in season 3 dropped a staggering 57% between the second and third seasons.
I wonder, and I'm wondering if that has something to do with like the shows in between them, like
That
Defenders, Iron Fist, all that sort of stuff.
I mean, that certainly helps. My theory, and it's something we even talked about last time a couple weeks ago, and that is, boy, Netflix, you kind of did a bad thing announcing the cancellation of Iron Fist and Luke Cage like the day of Daredevil season 3. Did you maybe scare your regular people into thinking like, oh, well, I'm not gonna get invested in this now because it looks like they're just canceling all of them?
Well, not only that, I don't think they really advertised Daredevil season 3 very well.
Not as hard. Not
No.
as hard as season 1. Season 1, they were right into it.
Yeah, same with season 2, but like season 3, they like what like 2 months ago we found out when it was coming out. That's not like a long time.
No.
And in the months between finding out when it was coming out and its release, we didn't really get anything.
we really didn't. Heck, I think they promoted Adam Sandler's like comeback stand-up special harder on Netflix. Like I saw more ads for that than I saw for Daredevil.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is a shame because season 3 was great. It was maybe one of the best ones they've done. And if you want to hear our thoughts on that, if you're caught up on it, although maybe 50% of you aren't caught up on it, but you want to hear anyway, be sure to stay tuned to the end of the podcast because that's going to be taken up by Matt and I talking about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this does not bode well. And, I think we could do like a whole discussion series just talking about why that is. Maybe the only thing that I could come to on such short notice is, the Marvel movies, people are able to keep up with them really easily because I think everyone has like an hour and a half, 2 hours to spend on a weekend to go see a movie. And, you can remember the big important things from the one movie to another.
Mm-hmm.
But with TV, it's much harder. That's a lot more stuff to remember and a much bigger time investment. Lord knows it's difficult for, me, and it's my job to finish these shows because they're upwards of 13 hours, a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm sure some people feel defeated where they're like, well, I can't start Daredevil season 3. I still haven't finished The Punisher. Or I still haven't finished Luke Cage season 2 or Iron Fist season 2. I guess I'll finish them when I'm done. Oh, look, something else has come on. I guess I'll just never finish them.
Yeah. I think that, the accessibility to them isn't really there and everything. And I think also like another thing that's kind of like hampered these shows is while they are connected to the MCU, they're not connected to the MCU.
They had so many chances where we wanted but then Coulson shows up, right? Or but then Captain America shows up, right?
Yeah.
And it never happened.
Well, not just that, but like their world doesn't feel the same. Like it is the same world, but like there isn't like we should be seeing like papers and stuff talking about, Tony Stark's new building or selling Stark Tower or the Spider-Man of Queens or something, all that sort of stuff. But we kept just getting that one newspaper of the Battle of New York with the Hulk and Abomination, and that's about it.
Or the incident. They don't even say.
Yeah, they don't even call it the right name or anything.
No, they just call it the incident. Heck, there's the Hulk problem, which my other co-host Sal brings up all the time, where it's like, hey, Hulk broke Harlem. Why don't the people of Harlem and Luke Cage mention that more? Shouldn't that be like a major driving force in that show?
Yeah, you'd think they would mention it, but like it's like stuff like that doesn't mention it. Like while the shows are in continuity with these films, they're not.
Yeah, it's really weird, and maybe this is a testing ground. Maybe they had to learn some stuff. And I guess this dovetails quite nicely into our next story. And that is, obviously we reported a while back that Disney on their new app, they're going to be making a series of brand new shows with actors from the MCU movies. And apparently one of those projects they're batting around now. They talked about Loki. They talked about Scarlet Witch. Well, now they're talking about a limited, maybe like 5-episode series of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Hell yeah, I'd be up for that.
That sounds dope as fuck. In fact, I thought both of those dudes could easily have held a film franchise on their own, but you know what? That's fine. A buddy team up thing on TV with Disney money behind it. All right.
Well, that's the thing. I could see these shows on the streaming app be sort of like jumping off points for movies, like kind of just fully testing the grounds to see if they can hold a movie. Like, oh, we'll do 5 shows, and if it's really popular, we'll continue their story in a movie.
Right. It's like, will you show up and buy tickets to this Joe and Jane popcorn?
Yeah.
In fact, heck, I know we batted around this idea too, where it's like, heck, I could see a situation where if these are really popular, Disney and Marvel are like, okay, anything that doesn't make Black Panther or Infinity War money, you go to the app.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which again means you could see like a lot of really different projects where it's like, okay, we didn't quite believe in this for a movie, but we think this would make a really good limited thing on the app.
Yeah, well, not only that, they could do like the Netflix originals where like they could do a movie, but it would be for the app.
Yeah. Which again, too, I don't know where the contracts on everything lie. I know a lot of people were hoping, and I thought a lot of it was wishful thinking, and that is, hey, if we do end up losing Daredevil the same way we lost Iron Fist and Luke Cage, could Charlie Cox show up on there maybe? Will this finally put an end to the whole scheduling thing of like, oh, they can't work together because schedules, where it's like, is that really why? Well, it looks like their schedules just got wide open, so
Yeah, it would be interesting to see what happens, especially with like Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Like, could they show up now that their shows have been cancelled? They can move on to another show over on this network. Don't know.
Because I mean, because it's like you've established, yes, Luke Cage exists, yes, Iron Fist exists in this universe, and it's these actors. So if you want to use them, you should really get them in.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, by that same pension, you've established that the Inhumans exist in this universe, and they're who they're. You can recast the Inhumans.
I wouldn't even say recast, but like redo their like story. Do a different story.
Yeah. Inhumans take 2. Inhumans, but for real this time. Inhumans, we're sorry for the other Inhumans. No, you know what you do? You call it New Humans, and you make it about all of Charles Soule's new Inhumans characters who are just figuring out...
Uncanny Inhumans, yeah.
Uncanny Inhumans who are just figuring out their powers for the first time on Earth, and you see the royal family working from the shadows up on the moon, and you see them in silhouette and everything, and then maybe you bring back the actors at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
Miss Marvel would actually be really good on the app, I think, the new Kamala Khan, because you could have it be where it's like, you know, it's not going to be Titanic world-saving stuff. It's going to be smaller street-level stuff with a cool superpower bent to it. I think that would work really well.
Wasn't there, like, rumors of a Miss Marvel movie or something? Or is that going to go to the app, maybe?
Well, there was rumors, again, there was supposed to be, like, a show they were working on that she might have been in it, but again, this was around the time of like Damage Patrol and a bunch of or Damage Control and a bunch of other projects that ended up not getting off the ground, so who even knows at this point.
Yeah.
Sorry if I keep wiping my nose, everyone. I'm 90% sure I have a sinus infection after coming back from con. I am powering through this on sheer stage health and adrenaline. Now, you know what it is? I lost the beard, which means I didn't have the protection from the germs, the hair follicles. Yeah,
the sieve, you know, where the like natural gas mask.
Exactly. You see, I'm like Samson. You cut my facial hair, and I lose my powers. I lose my comic book guy powers, and it sucks. Yeah, moving on from there to another interesting piece of news. There, hey Matt, you like that Ewan McGregor guy?
Yeah, he's okay.
He's all right. I enjoy him in things. A lot of people know him from Star Wars, but he's done other stuff. He was really good in I Love You, Philip Morris. I think that's a really underrated movie and a really underrated performance from him.
Yeah, he was good in Train Spotting.
Oh yeah, Train Spotting, of course. Yeah, can't forget that one. And the sequel. People forget that they did a sequel to Train Spotting.
And it was good.
It was also really good and solid, and that like never happens that you wait all these years for a sequel and it's actually worth it.
Yeah.
And it's actually about stuff, but again, getting off track here. Ewan McGregor has been cast to play Black Mask in the Birds of Prey movie. He's going to be the main villain by the sounds of it.
Cool. I mean, you could have cast anyone because they're going to put a helmet on. The problem with casting a more popular actor is they're going to have the helmet come off.
Exactly. A lot is the thing.
Yeah.
He's going to be sitting there talking to it. He's going to find every excuse to take it off because I'm in the movie. I got to show my face.
Yeah.
Again, it's like in situations like this, it's like, no, this is why you get a Jackie Earle Haley, or you get like a really serious method character actor who'll be like, no, I've become the mask. I need to have the mask on at all times. But that's fine. He's a good actor. This Birds of Prey thing is getting more interesting the more I hear about it. Like Rosie Perez is going to be in it.
Yeah, and they said it was going to be an R rating, but I don't believe that, mainly because they said Suicide Squad and Venom and all that would get R ratings, but they're not going to do that.
I don't believe any comic book movie maker when they say it's going to be R rated anymore.
No.
You lie.
Yeah.
Why you gotta lie? Again, I don't know what you're going to do with Black Mask as a character. Again, people love Black Mask because he's a really cool, striking drawing.
Yeah, He's basically just a mob boss.
Yeah, he's a mob boss with a better set of style. There is nothing interesting about Roman Sionis. Again, I bet 90% of non-comic readers couldn't even tell me that that's his real name.
Yeah, and I imagine, that he's just going to be, nondescript businessman who runs a crime empire.
his origin is also kind of silly too. Oh, my parents owned a pharmaceutical company, and it burned people and masks and everything. I'm actually more of a fan of the second Black Mask, who was one of the Arkham kids, who took up the mask and said, "Hey, I can do this," and he wore like an opera cape and everything with the Black Mask.
See, that sounds interesting.
That was actually pretty cool, but again, that was like right at the tail end of DC Comics before they moved into New 52, and they could never agree if the Arkham Kid was still Black Mask or not. It kept going back and forth between several writers of if he was good or evil or not. In fact, back when we worked at Name Redacted, that was one of my favorite ongoing bits where it's like, hey, is Arkham Kid good or evil this time?
Yeah, what is he this week? Let's spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel, and then people forgot. In fact, I don't even think we've seen that character in a very long time.
No, when was the last time we actually saw Black Mask?
It's been very long. Friggin' beginning of Titans, I think, when Robin shot him in the head.
Oh yeah.
But he didn't die though.
I remember
it's
that.
fine.
Yeah, he's in Kid Guantanamo or something.
Yeah. Oh, I like that, Kid Guantanamo. Yeah, he's just hanging out in superhero Guantanamo without a trial.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because heroes. Because attempted murder and imprisonment without trial is a-okay. Fucking Damien.
Oh,
I loved the Titans book when Percy was writing it. I'm so pissed that happened. You know what's another thing someone brought up? Drowned Earth came out this week, right?
Yeah.
And they made a big point of like, ooh, we're getting all the Atlantean characters involved. You know, you got Aqualad on the Titans, and you got Ocean Master and Mira, and everyone else is involved in it. Someone brought up in my comment section, hey, where's Calderon? And I'm like, yeah, where is Calderon? That's a damn good question.
We see he did something wrong to Damien, and now he's also locked in Gitmo.
He ate his sandwich from the Titans fridge, and Damien's like, mm-mm.
He's got the cell next to Black Mask.
Get my cell. Because, again, that was something great Percy was trying to do. He was trying to split the difference between the Young Justice version and the Jackson Hyde that already existed in DC Comics, which confuses the fuck out of people.
Mm-hmm.
And like when people talk about Calderon in the comics, there's always just a little smack, little undercurrent of homophobia, because they're like, why is he gay in the comics? Because Jackson Hyde was always gay, but he wasn't in the Young Justice show. Yeah, because they were adapting from that, but then the universe went away, but then he got really popular, but then the universe came back and they had to fuse them together. It's a whole thing. Fact is, Young Justice TV version isn't really the one in the comics, but they tried to make him that. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. Cool, I guess.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him, but I don't see how they could make him very interesting.
Doesn't seem like a meaty role, but then again, it's not like DC Comics doesn't totally just rewrite everything on the spot. Just because. I hope the mask looks cool, though, because I've seen a lot of really good cosplayers with really good masks.
Well, it's very simple. They'd have to try to fuck that up.
Ooh, speaking of cosplayers and trying to fuck it up, what did you think of Henry Cavill as The Witcher?
I liked it. I thought it was really good.
I didn't hate it. Again, as people
It looks exactly like the first game, which it should look like.
As people who, like you, Matt, who are much more knowledgeable on the subject than me, said, look, it's early on in his career. He gets the scars. He gets the other stuff later.
Well, see, that's the thing that people didn't seem to really notice. It's a camera test, which means it's testing the look of it. It's not the final look of the character.
Okay, see, that's good. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, so it's not going to look exactly like that. He's going to have like the cat eyes and probably the scars as well. But yeah, I like the people like who have only obviously just played the third game or the like 2 and 3, and they're like, where's his beard? Why doesn't he wear this? Why does he wear that? It's like, this because this has nothing to do with those games. This isn't The Witcher adapted from the games. This is The Witcher adapted from the books.
And the books are very different, to the point where the book guy wanted to sue the game guys because the game guys were making more money.
Yeah.
the book guy, the writer of the Witcher books, never thought it would be as huge as any of this.
Yeah, so he took a lump sum when the first game came out, and then they went on to make like billions of dollars. So he's getting upset.
That poor Swedish Icelandic bastard never take a lump sum. No one will ever appreciate my work. Nah, just give me the lump sum now. Man, let that be a lesson to you and me, Matt, when a high-powered Hollywood producer inevitably wants to come and make the comic multiverse movie. We will not take a lump sum.
I'll take a cut of the profits. Merchandising. Merchandising.
Oh, yeah. Who would play us in a movie, Matt?
I don't know. I'm sure we had this conversation, but yeah, Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney and Joel Edgerton are Joel and Matt.
You could have that guy. Joel Edgerton's a good actor and director. Who's that guy that was in Suicide Squad? Rick Flag guy.
Oh yeah, why can't I remember his name now?
That's how forgettable he is.
I'm sorry. The guy who Tom Hardy was supposed to play but didn't get a chance to.
Yeah. So they just cast him.
Who was the guy in Balls of Fury and other stuff?
I have no idea.
Again, it's like there was a moment there they were trying to push him as the new Jack Black. He never quite got to that point.
Is he in the Fantastic Beasts?
Yes, that guy.
I can't remember his name, but I know the one you're talking about. He was in Walking Dead this week, I think, as well.
Was he seriously?
Yeah.
Holy crap! Maybe he's also too good for us now. He actually seems to be turning into a pretty solid character actor. Shit. I mean, Jack Black might be too old, but at least he's good enough for Goosebumps movies. Dan Fogler is his name.
That's his name. Yeah.
Dan Fogler. He can play both of us. He can jump back and forth because he's a great performer.
It'll take CGI. We'll have to CGI. You have to CGI a beard onto him when it's me, and we'll get the people who did Justice League. It's flawless.
Exactly. No, you know what you got to do? You got to get the people who did that Tom Hardy movie where he played the Cray twins. We got to get that technology. That was good. You almost wouldn't believe that Tom Hardy was one person. That was an underrated movie from that year.
I like that the movie's advertising used like a 2-star rating from The Guardian in their poster, but they hid it behind the two people, so it made it look like a 5-star rating.
Ooh. Like, again, it's not a great gangster movie, but it is an interesting one from like a performance standpoint of like, oh wow, Hardy really goes for it here. He is a good actor.
Yeah.
All right, so what else do we got going on here? Hey Matt, do you like that Wolverine?
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
We've been getting a lot of it, haven't we? We only just got issue 2 of Return of Wolverine.
Yeah, which was pretty crappy.
Pardon? Oh, you didn't like the second issue?
No, I compared it to a loading screen on a video game or like a fast travel animation. Nothing fucking happened.
No, nothing really did it. He used the hot claws and he was like, oh shit, that's something.
Yeah, we didn't really even get an explanation for them either.
No, they're still working up that. I also like that Jean Grey did in like 1 page what it took 4 miniseries to not do, and that is to find Wolverine.
Yeah, he just turns up. It's like, oh, there he is.
Oh, I found him. He was there. But hey, so apparently this Wolverine train ain't slowing down anytime soon. We got the X-Men movie rights back. We're bringing back X-Men in a big way. As soon as this Return of Wolverine is done, get ready for a new 12-issue Wolverine miniseries. This one is called Wolverine The Vigil. It's going to be a decade-spanning series where every issue is basically Wolverine in a different time period, from like World War II to Victorian England, etc., etc. And yeah.
Cool. Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. Sounds interesting. Again, it's funny that they're announcing these, but they're not announcing a Wolverine ongoing.
Yeah, it's very. I wonder if like maybe they're like, okay, we want an ongoing, but we can't lock down like a writer. Like they probably couldn't lock down Charles Soule or something because he's busy with Daredevil and all this other stuff.
Or whatever Daredevil. Well, he's going to be done with Daredevil at the end of this Death of Daredevil. Apparently, that's it for him. He's done.
Well, maybe he has something else, or maybe he doesn't want to do any more Marvel stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he doesn't want to do any more Wolverine. He's like, guys, I killed him. I brought him back to life. What more do you want from me? Although I think he's writing this. I think he's writing The Vigil, actually.
Yeah, well, maybe this might be his last season.
It could be, or maybe this will spin into a new ongoing. It just feels very un-Marvel, where it's like, hey, we got our big daddy cash cow back, but we're not going to announce a new series yet.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to wait till they like cast a Wolverine in the movie to have like a new Wolverine #1. Like they're sitting on that new Wolverine #1.
The scripts are building up.
Possibly. I mean, who friggin' knows? But yeah, Vigil sounds interesting. I'll check it out. It honestly feels like Wolverine has been coming back to life now for as long as he's been dead.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. Since his death, we've gotten probably more Wolverine than we ever have because of like Old Man Logan, all new Wolverine, all these different series of revolving around him.
Oh, maybe they're waiting for that too, because Wolverine needs, or Old Man Logan needs to come to an end too. They need Dead Man Logan to finish it off.
It's finished, isn't it? Old Man Logan?
Old Man Logan is finished, but we're getting a brand new miniseries called Dead Man Logan, which will assumedly kill him off or return him to his time period. I think he might even still be in his time period now. Bresson is writing that too, because Ed Bresson was also writing Old Man Logan.
He has to return to his timeline because of like extermination and everything, because then otherwise young Cable's not doing his job very well. So
but was he part of that deal? Because young Cable bitches out X-Force being like, oh, my older self
that's
totally
the thing, like he should be part of it, but he was never mentioned in the most recent issue, and and Old Man Logan's off as a hound killing people. So
well, here's the thing, I hope Bresson answers this because he's writing both books, because if you'll recall, the young X-Men were brought to the present via time travel, so there was clear and obvious manipulation going on there. Mm-hmm. Old Man Logan, if you'll remember, literally just wandered in from Secret Wars. He was having his storyline Bendis was writing, and then he just wandered in, and he was in modern day when the planets got put back together.
Yeah, so they're going to be like, okay, well, you can travel to the future and just live out there, or they'll have to kill him off or something.
They'll send him off to the old mutants' home. They'll send him to a farm upstate where he can play with other Wolverines. You'll recall, too, they were very wishy-washy about this, or at least Bendis was wishy-washy about it, and no one ever bothered to correct it. This idea of, is Old Man Logan from the true, proper future that will happen, or is he only from a possible future?
Yeah, I think they might touch on that, mainly because the most recent issue of Extermination touched on that, like
but only for the young time traveling X-Men.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I think they probably will touch on it because they have to bring that up anyway, because he's a time displaced mutant.
Yeah,
and the story is about killing time displaced mutants.
And Bresson writes both books, so he would really be dropping the ball if he didn't mention it at some point.
Yeah.
And hey, speaking of 90s extremeness and ball dropping, Matt, this is a beautiful segue into one of these. We haven't gotten a story like this in a while, just the pure schadenfreude. Hey, Rob Liefeld couldn't draw feet, co-creator of Deadpool and a bunch of other stuff. Kind of a punchline, but apparently a really nice guy, though, so he keeps getting work even as early as, like, the New 52. He got work writing and drawing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he launched a Kickstarter way back when for a new series called Brigade, which looks like fucking everything he's ever done. There's a guy with big guns and a bunch of pouches and a Wolverine-looking dude.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it always is. In fact, again, I'm pretty sure we talked about this before, actually.
I think we probably have.
But yeah, he launched a Kickstarter for it. What is it? It reached a certain number of like stretch goals, but don't think I ever got fully funded. Well, he's launching a brand new Indiegogo campaign for it now, despite never actually fulfilling anything put before by the previous Kickstarter.
Yep. So he's just running with the money, I guess.
Whoa, take the money and run. Whoa, take the money and run, which is difficult when you don't have feet because you don't draw feet. What do you think all the pouches are for? It's for my Indiegogo money to put it in. Gonna need more in a minute, but that's not good, Rob Liefeld. We've always made fun of you as an artist, kind of being a crappy businessman, but don't be a crappy human being.
No, that's awful. Why do lots of people do this sort of thing? I don't understand why, though.
Yeah, what do you hope to gain except for totally, you know, assassinating your credibility in the future.
Yeah.
And also too, it's like these people, they have your name. They know who you are when you don't honor this shit.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably go yell at Rob Liefeld right now.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should. I don't want to be, promoting that kind of thing. But seriously, I'm sure if he ever went to another convention, people would be yelling at him about it. But yeah, hey, Rob Liefeld, fix your shit. And hey, if you actually gave money to this Kickstarter, I doubt anyone in our fan base did. But if you did, I feel sorry for you. I hope you get reimbursed for this.
Yeah, it's a shame. I wonder if he said anything like addressed this on, like, I don't know, Facebook or Twitter or anything. I don't think he has, because I think we would have heard something. But yeah,
you would think, because raking him across the coals was very loud and very vocal this week, which is why it made the show at all. Normally, I wouldn't even write about something like this, but the fact that so many people I knew were pitching a fit about it made me think, like, ooh, this actually feels like something I should talk about. Okay, here you go. Let's go to old Rob Liefeld's Twitter page, assuming this is the real one. Oh, this is not the real one.
You found the one that's all in caps.
Yes, this is the parody.
Screams at people.
Yeah, follow me, Cabe and Shatterstar creator, for Kickstarter advice. Oh, you're funny, and his header is all Doritos.
I don't think he said actually anything. I think he's still, like, keeping quiet about it.
I was gonna say, like, he used to be on Twitter, Rob Liefeld. Is he not on Twitter anymore? I know
he
creator.
is. I'm on his page right now.
Oh, yeah, he hasn't said nothing?
No, I'm not seeing anything.
Well, he should address that at some point, I think.
Just talking about sports. That's it.
Get the sports, can't get them fucking sports, boy. That's a reference to our Batman v Superman commentary. Go check that out. You might enjoy it. Get them fucking sports. But yeah, I guess moving on from there, from, you know, one story about money to another story about money. Hey, Matt, can I borrow $8,000?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. You see, I really need it because Dean Cain, who is apparently alive and not dead, as I have maintained for many years now, his suit is going up for sale, his Superman suit, at auction next month, and it's expected to rein in anywhere from $8,000 to $10,000.
Now, why would I lend you money to buy that when I could buy that myself?
I was gonna give it as a gift to you, Matt. That would be my thing. It's like that old Christmas story of, like, oh, I sold my hair to give you clippers or some shit. And you're like, oh, well, I sold my clippers to give you whatever.
I borrowed your money to buy this to give it back to you.
To give it back to you. It's a Christmas miracle. But yeah, hey, if you know the auction world, and if you have a lot of money to spend, and if you are a rich nerd, you can own Dean Cain's Superman costume, which is a pretty decent costume.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Which one is it? Because they used like 20 in that show. Is it one that has the cape tucked in? Is it the one with, like, the big puffy cape? Is it the one with the weird shield?
I think this is the long with the weird shield one.
Oh, okay. I don't like that one. The shield on it's really weird. It's big and kind of weird looking,
kind of misshapen. Yeah, when I looked at this, I'm like, which one was this? Because there's the one everyone remembers from very early on that's in all the pictures, and then yeah, this was one of the ones from later.
Yeah, it'd be funny if it was like the one he used in, like, the season finale, which was like a black and blue one.
No, it's definitely not that one.
The black leotard one.
Which very much makes me wonder, well, where did all those other costumes go?
Disappeared somewhere.
Also, who is this money going to? Is this one going directly to Dean Cain? Is he selling this directly from his collection, or is this the studio selling this?
That'd be very interesting to find out.
I think it's the studio selling it, because honestly, I don't know if I want to give Dean Cain that kind of money.
Not really.
Don't trust him with it. I don't trust him with it, but then again, it's like, hey, do you trust the studio with that money even more? Don't make me think about these things. But yeah, now again, we mentioned Wolverine before, and we mentioned Old Man Logan before, so this next story is very perfect to close us out here. Old Man Quill, yes, that's right, Star-Lord is getting his own Old Man series coming soon, written by Ethan Sachs with art by Robert Gill.
Okay, are we just gonna have Can we have
Every
like
character.
an old man universe?
The
Where it's
Matt,
just like all the senior citizen heroes.
Matt, again, you are an idea machine, sir. We need the retirement home universe where, yes, it's just made up of old man characters and old women too.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's like old man Quill, old man Logan, old man Hawkeye. Who else we got?
Old lady Harley over at DC,
Yeah,
they did that one.
yeah, they did that one. You get like the Maestro Hulk.
Uh, Old man Thor or King Thor of the future, whatever you
Yep.
want to call him. He's old.
Yep.
There's so many old characters recently.
Yeah, there have been, isn't there?
Old man Deadpool from 2099, he was a
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
I mean, really, what is the Maestro if not Old Man Hulk?
Yeah.
Throw him in there. He's got a wicked beard. If you got a wicked beard, you can be in there.
Yeah, if you beard and wrinkles, you're game.
You're into the Oldiverse, is what you can call it.
You get like the old Peter Parker from like Last Stand.
Oh yeah, there you go. And again, it's just all the old superheroes sitting on their porch telling kids to get off their lawns. To be a fun universe, and you can get an actual old man comic writer to write it, like Jerry Conway. He's still really good and still writing comics,
Yeah,
and
or
is
Marv
himself an old
Wolfman.
man. Or Marv Wolfman again. It can be a two-piece. You can get every issue written by a different old man comic writer who's still around. Chris Claremont still fucking has it to this day. Writes like a young man. That Magneto X-Men Black he did was wonderful. That guy has not lost a step. But yeah, so that's that story, everyone. If you like your Guardians of the Galaxy, if you like old men, you'll like this.
Yeah, sounds pretty cool.
I know that sounds niche. Ooh, likes Guardians of the Galaxy and likes old men? I don't know. I'm sure Chris Pratt is really happy. He's like, oh, good, I can play this role well into my old age, is what you're telling me. I can come back and I can Logan this up years later. Is what I can do. But yeah, that was the news, everyone. You know, fairly interesting week.
Yeah.
I was happy that the comic selection was actually manageable this week because it means I can actually catch up on stuff from being away.
Yeah, I had like a big backlog, so like having only like a couple of issues of comics from this week was really manageable and really helped me catch up on those leftover comics.
It was nice, and it meant we could spend more time with Red Dead. I'm really happy with that. But yes, normally this is where we talk about the comics of the week, but I thought it might be nice if we could talk about Daredevil now that Matt and I have had a chance to see it.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts, really goddamn solid. Maybe the best paced, best put together of the Daredevil seasons. I mean, I think it's the best Daredevil season by far.
Yeah, it's either just a little bit better or rivals season 1.
Yeah, it's really and it harkens back a lot to season 1 too.
Well, yeah, it was because the villains are pretty similar with Kingpin and coming back, and yeah,
wearing the black costume again, which I thought I'd complain more about because I'm like, oh god, you know, he finally got a costume and now here we are back in the black suit. Oh wait, Kingpin stole it and is trying to frame it. Okay, this actually makes more sense. Okay, this fits.
Yeah.
Also, he customizes it too with the Muay Thai ropes and everything, and the fact that he's literally just wearing priest vestments around his head. That I thought was a nice touch.
Yeah.
We get basically, you know, this carries on from Defenders. Matt had a whole building dropped on him, and he has to pretty much put himself back together.
Yeah, he gets rescued by a nun, and it goes to the convent. He gets rescued by some nuns who bring him to that priest that he knows, and
Lawton.
yeah, and then they sort of nurse him back to health, and he's basically got to learn all his abilities again.
Yeah, it's kind of taking it back to square one. He's got basically tinnitus. He's got a ringing in his ears, which means he's deaf, and if he's deaf, he can't see. And because he can't see, he's basically feeling like an actual blind guy for the first time in his life.
Yeah. The thing, like, with the tinnitus, I thought that was really cool, but I didn't like how they got rid of it, where it's just like, oh, well, you do the whole, like, kettle in the nose sort of thing, and then that suddenly, like, it just clears it up immediately. I'm like, I was kind of hoping he'd go through, like, a bit of more of the season with, like, a little bit of a ringing in his ears, sort of to mirror what, Agent Poindexter has.
Ooh, yeah, I didn't think about that. It was ultimately a pretty easy fix, but then you got to figure he was getting taken care of by nuns, not doctors. Like maybe a doctor could have told him that right away.
That's true, but yeah, it was just kind of like a big coincidence. Like he found like the little kettle thing under the sink and just
Mhm.
decided to use it, and oh, he's all better.
I mean, I guess it makes sense where it's like, yeah, you got a building dropped on you. Of course, you have a ton of blood clots all over you. Go to a hospital, you maniac. You can only meditate it away so much.
It's a shame Claire wasn't around.
Yeah, I know, right? I kept waiting for that moment too. I'm like, yeah, why doesn't he call Claire? Oh, he doesn't want to call anyone. That I appreciated too, that Matt's whole journey is like, no, Matt Murdock is dead. Matt Murdock, failed. He got my friends hurt and everything. I need to be Daredevil 24/7.
Hmm.
I'm like, all right, that's a good explanation as to why he doesn't call the other defenders for help.
Yeah, he wants to separate himself from everyone as well as like protecting them. He's like saying, "Yeah, no, that's the weaker side of me. I don't need that anymore."
We are at peak Frank Miller born again mopiness, hanging out on gargoyles, and I'm like, all right, there's a long standing history of this for Daredevil. I like this,
And
and his
the best thing as well, it doesn't come off as edgy or gritty or
no,
anything. Like
no, it really
it's
doesn't.
done very well.
Credit to Charlie Cox. I gotta say, this is the first season where another character I don't think came in and totally overshadowed him, like Kingpin did in season one and like Punisher did in season two.
Yeah. It almost happened. It almost happened, but it didn't.
Almost. It was very close, but again, this was the Charlie Cox show. He gets a lot of really meaty scenes, especially with Sister Maggie, who, of course, if you're a comic reader, you know way before they reveal it in the show, and that's your mom.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
I liked it. I like they keep the postpartum depression thing that Wade only wrote a couple years ago.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because up until then, they never really had much of a reason as to why she abandoned her family. She just kind of did it.
Yeah.
I also like that the show actually wrote a pretty good version of how Daredevil's parents met, because I'm pretty sure they never answered that question in the comics, how a nun met a boxer and
Yeah.
everything. So I like how they did that.
Yeah, that I enjoyed that too. I wasn't too familiar with it, but yeah, I enjoyed like seeing that.
There's a lot of stuff about the Murdoch's family life that was unwritten, and I'm like, you know what, you wrote a pretty good version of this, because my assumption was, she was just a normal lady but then ran away and joined the convent.
Yeah.
So I like this of being like, oh, she was always planning to be a nun and then met Matt's dad, and then all that other stuff happened. We actually get to see Matt's dad again via ghost form. We get a couple ghosts.
Yeah, he appears in ghost form as, hey, you're bad. Stop being
Yeah.
bad.
Shut up, ghost dad. Stop making me feel thick. And I like he gets into fights with Ghost Dad, but like Ghost Dad even gets him a couple times like, all right. You got me, Ghost. You got me, Ghost Conscience Dad. Foggy gets a really meaty role this season too. Him trying to, fight Wilson Fisk from the other side of things. His journey to become district attorney.
I like skinny Foggy.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
He was great. Like his little character arc between like season 2 of Daredevil, Defenders, Luke Cage, and then this is
Yeah.
like really cool. I really liked it.
It's nice. I like his realization too, where it's like, he moves in with the woman who always wanted him to go out on his own and be a better lawyer and make more money, which he does. And yes, he is a better lawyer without Matt, but he's not as happy with Matt though.
No, that's what I like when they get back together as Nelson and Murdoch. I like that. I thought that was pretty cool.
I'm glad that he just straight up comes out and says. I also like Matt's evolution too, where I feel like the writers were listening to what fans are saying, and that is like, wow, Matt's a massive dick to his friends in season 1, 2, and Defenders. He should really apologize, and he apologizes by the end.
Yeah, he kind of realizes that he has been a big dick.
Yeah,
It just
I
took him
like.
long enough.
It's like, it took you 3 seasons of television, but I'm glad you finally came around to do it. Karen, of course, gets a major focus in this season. And in fact, my whole reasoning, I thought, oh, they really got to focus on her this season because Bullseye is going to kill her like he did in the comics. Didn't happen. They swerve you. They kill the priest instead.
Yeah, and all the trailers and everything made it look like he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it, and even there was like some like stills that made it look like, oh, this is exactly the scene from the comic.
Yep.
But yeah, it never happens.
Nope, they swerve you for it. And actually, they kind of elevate Karen in a way in this season to where it's like, no, we're going to rebuild the law firm. It's going to be Nelson, Murdoch, and Page. And I'm like, oh, even Comic Page never got that much development. She existed to be the office girl, to be the girlfriend, and then died to make Daredevil feel bad. Oh, wow, you've actually evolved her. Like, if she stayed around in the comics, that's probably where she would be now.
Yeah, that they made her interesting. They made her a bit more than just the I guess damsel in distress.
The gal Friday hack. The flashback episode, which I stand by it, the best Marvel Netflix shows have whole flashback episodes. She got the whole flashback episode this season about the life she lived, which is not as dark as the life she lived later on in the Frank Miller comics. But again, they kind of fixed that up too, to be like, no, she had a more relatable problem. It wasn't just, doing coke with Spanish drug lords and selling out Matt's identity. Although she kind of does that too, so you kind of have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, it was a lot more like, yeah, as you said, relatable.
Yeah. Where it's like, yeah, I can see where she's coming from here in a crappy dead-end town, having to decide, supporting her father and brother or going away to college and, a dead mother and a lot of stuff unsaid. I'm like, all right, this is relatable. This is some interesting stuff. And they make sure to bring back the fact, oh, you killed James Wesley in season 1 and everyone kind of forgot.
Yeah, I actually really like that part where she's like talking with Kingpin about it and like reveals that she was the one who did it and how she kind of had like control of Kingpin there for a little bit because of how like mad he was getting and everything. I thought that was pretty cool.
I killed your only friend in the world and now I'm big dicking you about it. And I'm like, shit, that's cold-blooded. I like that scene, too, because it was a nice little inverse of the scene from season 2 where Matt goes to visit Kingpin in prison and they almost have a fight.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of prison, too, the 10-minute-long, single-shot hallway fight scene.
That was so cool. It was just a big prison escape. That was so good.
Loved it. It's like the writers of the show heard all the complaints and all the opining of being like, oh, these Netflix shows sure do love hallway fight scenes, don't they? To where the writers are like, oh, we like hallway fights. We're gonna record the greatest hallway fight scene in history. It's gonna be 10 minutes, almost uncut, and we're gonna build an entire episode around.
What if the hallway was an entire prison filled with murderous scumbags who want to kill this lawyer?
Yeah, and crooked riot cuts, which again, that scene too is like an extension and built upon from Devil in Cell Block D. So that's like a fight that's actually had in the comics. Like, oh, cool, they're building on it and they're hearkening to it. I like that.
Not only that, they had to handicap Matt as well. They drugged him up, and he did the whole thing while he was like half drugged.
That was a really, really solid scene. Hey, did you know that, Charlie Cox apparently did more of his stunts in this season than in the first
like that because a lot of them were, you could see his face in them and everything. They weren't like trying to hide it. Like when he's in the costume, you can kind of tell when it's a stunt double. But yeah, in that fight scene, you could tell in the prison scene, you could tell he was doing a lot of it. There were a couple of cuts there where it was obviously a stunt double, but yeah, a lot of his were his own stunts, which is really cool.
Really impressed. The dude went for it. The dude owns the role of Daredevil, and it's cool to see him go to those lengths to really try and make it happen.
Yeah.
Obviously, of course, Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin just owns his plot in here is straight up comic books. I'm going to turn the entire FBI with dirt that I have on them from my secret spy room in my hotel lair. And then, I'm going to turn another... I love that
spy room is behind the bookcase. And then there's just like some random hacker girl in there who is probably his prisoner. I don't know.
Yes, that's what they seek to imply, that she was like chained to a radiator or something. For me, what got me about that scene is I had total flashbacks to like 90s Spider-Man. I'm like, oh, she's his Alistair Smythe is what she is. She just doesn't have a floating wheelchair. She's totally Alistair Smythe. She's working on the Spider Slayers in the background. But yeah, friggin' secret spy room behind the bookcase. What a fucking comic book.
Yeah, it's so good. But yeah, I like his like control over the FBI, and we got that FBI agent Ray, who
Nadeem, yeah.
His story was actually like, at first I was like, oh, here we go, another side plot, but then like I'm like, holy crap, this is so good.
He ended up being the best cop in any of these Netflix
Yeah.
series, and it's shocking too because they introduce him kind of clumsily because it's like, ooh, Daredevil stuff, ooh, Kingpin stuff, everything, and then you're just watching this guy have dinner with his family, and I'm like, did I click the wrong show? What the fuck am I watching?
I was like, how is this gonna tie back in? What the hell is this? And then I'm like, oh, he's an FBI agent. Oh, he's part of this force that's controlled by Kingpin, but he's not. And yeah, it was pretty cool.
And the horrible realization you get later of like, oh, they played him literally every step of the way.
Yeah.
Didn't promote him, let him think he was getting the best of Kingpin, let him think he was getting the best of his bosses. Only for him not to be, man, friggin' justice for Nadeem, man. That guy got fucked for 13 episodes.
Every which way possible.
He really, really did. And then it's like, oh, how could this even get worse? Oh, your partner, the guy who saved your life, is also Bullseye.
Yeah. I actually like they went like that route with Bullseye and didn't make him just like a mysterious assassin.
It was a very interesting take. I know we talked about this a little 2 weeks ago, that they incorporate really so much of Bullseye from the comics. His background as a baseball player, his background as an agent, his weird super spine that they imply he gets at the end of this.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say they didn't do their homework. It might not be the version you want, it might not be the version you envision, but they put work in on this, and I think the actor does a really good job making him slimy and creepy, and it's the little things he does, like when he's driving with the corpse at the end, or when he takes the stage in full costume.
Yeah, whenever he's in the Daredevil costume, it's so creepy.
And the fact that he could shoot people, but he like chooses to pick up cutlery and like little pieces from the chandelier and throw them.
That fight at the newspaper office was so cool. He's like throwing staplers and shit at Matt. I thought that was pretty cool.
Now that's comic Bullseye. I can turn anything I find into a deadly weapon.
Yeah, and he surely does.
Yeah, he surely does.
I was kind of worried because I was like, oh, are they gonna do that? Or are they gonna just make him like, oh, he's a really good shot?
Yeah, they didn't just make him Deadshot.
Yeah.
I was waiting for the moment too once he realized that Kingpin had screwed him over. I'm like, oh, this is the moment he pulls out like the duct tape and the spray paint and he, customizes the Daredevil costume into the Bullseye suit. He doesn't do it, but I feel if God willing we get a season 4, that's something they could do.
Yeah, I feel like I thought they were gonna he was gonna be the Daredevil and like frame Daredevil, and then he's gonna suddenly like when he actually snaps at the end of the show, he's gonna like change the costume and it's gonna be like a blackish blue sort of look to it, like he has in the comics,
with a big white bullseye on it.
Yeah, he's gonna rip the horns off or something. It's
or something
bullseye
like
or something on the head or something.
Yeah, they could have done that, but it was still fun. I like that the final battle in this is a 3-way fight in a hotel suite between Daredevil, Bullseye, and Kingpin.
Yeah, no one knows who to fight.
Yeah, who wronged me more? And it's freaking brutal too. I like Kingpin is the one who ultimately dispatches Bullseye, the monster he created he basically does a wrestling move to him. He basically friggin' rams him into a wall and breaks his spine.
Yeah, man, Vincent D'Onofrio in this season is so good.
Oh yeah. And again, they make the Kingpin feel so human too, even though he's so alien and so weird. The scene that I think is like his big for your consideration, Oscar, Emmys, whatever you want to call it, is when he's trying to get the painting back from that woman who's a Holocaust survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And like, even though he's a bad guy, even though he's a selfish scumbag and he's manipulated everything, you can see the wheels turning in his head and being like, oh, I feel bad for you. I shouldn't kill you. Okay, I'll go now. Bye.
Yeah, and then he gets like a little mad later on when he finds out that Bullseye went and got the painting and obviously killed that woman for it.
Yeah, he's like, God damn it, you weren't supposed to do. I had a thing. I grew a little as a person.
Yeah, and that's like another thing. Like Bullseye thinks he's become the new Wesley, when really he hasn't at all.
Yeah, I'm your friend, right? I'm your son, right? Nah, you're a fucking weirdo. Which again is an interesting kind of like twist on the Kingpin Bullseye relationship. I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, where it's like, to me, Bullseye always went back to Fisk because Fisk always had money, and then as Bullseye became more obsessed with Daredevil, they, the enemy of my enemy is my friend type thing. I like this kind of, oh, I see you as a father figure type thing, and that's why I keep coming back to you. I thought that was an interesting twist on it.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Vanessa too, she's only in 2 episodes, but I think she's really good in the 2 episodes because they remember the whole Lady Macbeth angle of like, oh, Fisk is bad, but Vanessa actually makes him worse. Because Fisk is like, yes, we have to discredit Agent Nadeem, we have to make sure he goes to jail, we got to make sure we got to do this, that, and the other. And Vanessa's like, kill him, you should kill him. And Kingpin's like, okay, I mean, she said, I guess we should kill him now. I guess it's my idea now.
Yeah, okay. I did like how, like, his whole Kingpin's like sort of whole thing this season wasn't, I've got to take over the city and everything. I just want to get my woman back.
Yeah, I want my wife back. I want my art. I want all this other stuff. But yeah, it's very Netflix. It's very street level. It's very Frank Miller is what it is. It's people being very angry and very violent over very small amounts of money. I like too. Again, we talked about little connective tissues. The Italian mobster lady in this was the Italian mobster lady from Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Which of course begs the question: shouldn't the Kingpin of Harlem been invited to this thing? Which is, look, shut up.
That's well, I think I said it when we were talking about the ending of Luke Cage, where I'm like, since we knew Kingpin was coming back, I hope we get like a turf war sort of thing going with Luke Cage again, where like Kingpin moves in on his territory or something, or like Matt teams up with Luke or something to defeat him. Never happens.
That should have been an episode. That should have been like Fisk sends his guys to collect the Kingpin of Harlem. They find out it's Luke Cage, and they're like, okay, we will leave you be then. Bye. Harlem is off limits. Like, that would be his thing, where it's like, oh, hey, he sent the guys back and they're in body casts and everything. Yes, he said, stay the fuck out of Harlem. But again, that would have been too good, and that would have led into the 3rd season of Luke Cage, and never would have happened. That maybe Luke was going to the dark side. And speaking of the dark side, I like about this season is that Matt so early on, I was like, I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill Kingpin. He goes the whole season thinking he's gonna kill Kingpin, only for him to not do it because he knows it's wrong and everything. I think this show gets what so many movie writers get wrong about heroes and killing, where they're like, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if this hero who didn't killed? Wouldn't that be really unexpected and really out there? Yeah, but where do you go with it though? Once you do it, you can't unstick it once you've stuck it. I like this show where it's like, no, we can play with the idea of a hero wanting to murder, wanting to go that extra mile.
But when it comes down to it, he won't.
But not doing it and understanding right and wrong. I thought that was so well handled. In fact, literally he punches Fisk, and then it's like he's gonna break his neck, and then he's like, no, who am I, Henry Cavill? No, I won't do that.
I also like in that, like, he realized that, like, he really did kill the Kingpin because he beat him, and he realized that was more painful to Kingpin than actually killing him,
which is classic Daredevil storytelling. Miller did that, Bendis did that, huge. Even that scene of where it's like, you know what we're gonna do now, Wilson, you and I are gonna live in a constant state of mutually assured destruction. You know who I am, I know who you are, we know how to hurt each other, let's just give each other a wide breath from here on out. Which, again, such classic Daredevil. Again, that's the core of so many great Daredevil stories, that even if it's like, oh, well, they didn't get this aspect right, or oh, I didn't get this costume that I wanted, I think it's for staying so true thematically and ideologically to the Daredevil stories from the comics. I think that's why this season is so strong.
Yeah.
It's the moments like that where it's like that evokes the feeling I had from, reading Born Again and The Golden Age and Murdoch Papers and all those other stories I liked.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I mean, what else can we really say about this season that we haven't said?
I don't know. It was such a really great season, and again, like as we talked about at the top of the show, like it boggles my mind that not a lot of people were watching it because it was so damn good.
You missed out. You missed out on this, and you apparently missed out on Luke Cage season 2 too, because it was wonderful.
Yeah, and both of them also, they had the cut down number of episodes, didn't they? Did this one? I'm pretty sure.
No,
it did.
this one was 13.
Oh, okay then, cool. Yeah,
this was full.
but the thing is, it didn't feel like it. Like, no episode was a padding. I guess kind of maybe the Karen episode was padding a little bit, but really wasn't.
The Karen one was a fake out because they really want you to think Karen is gonna die. Where it's like, and now let's give you her origin so you feel extra bad. And here's the moment, but we tricked you, is what we did. But yeah, I mean, just really, really well done, really solid from everyone. It's a shame that 57% of people didn't come back from season 1 and 2, and it looks like this might be the last one. So you better have enjoyed it.
Yeah, that sucks because I would like to have seen where do we go from here? What happens now?
I think there's so many places they could have gone from this. Obviously, they could have reestablished. Let's pitch that. Let's pitch our potential season 4s we would have liked to have seen. They rebuild their law practice, which is obvious. So maybe we could get some fun like case of the weeks in there.
Yeah, after all these, I would like them to go in a more traditional story like that, where it's like we've had all these big Kingpin, Punisher sort of. Now we're just doing case of the week stuff, and maybe there's like slight overarching of the story or something.
That would be the B plot, where it's like, wait, all of these cases we've been doing, they seem to have something in common and everything. That would be nice. Who's a villain you could do? I would like to see Gladiator maybe finally become Gladiator. Like, he gets put out of jail, but he's really upset at Matt Murdock for basically serving him up to the cops. So he builds a Gladiator supervillain suit to fight him with the thing that shoots razor blades and everything.
That'd be cool. I like that little fight they had in this season, and how Gladiator was kind of wearing his costume because his t-shirt had like the same pattern
symbol
as the. I would really like. Well, I'd really like Bullseye to come back, but I'd like Bullseye to come back with Typhoid Mary.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Because I really liked Typhoid Mary in Iron Fist. I thought she was a really great character.
She was one of the best parts of season 2, and Typhoid Mary is traditionally a Daredevil villain, not an Iron Fist villain.
And maybe they like team up or something.
Yeah. I would like to see him like season 4 like really build the rogues gallery with like villains where it's like, really, that guy's a villain too, like Leapfrog,
Stilt
like
Man.
Fun. Chirk Barrett finally becomes Stilt Man is what he becomes. He gets the suit.
He gets sick of being beaten up by Daredevil and all these other characters.
Yeah. Ooh, you have a master planner villain who is ultimately revealed to be Bullseye or Typhoid Mary, is going around and funding like criminals who have a grudge against Daredevil or Matt Murdock. So they fund Gladiator to build a new suit, and they like go to like a diamond thief and be like, oh, here's a green onesie, you're the Leapfrog now. And just a bunch of crazy villains like that. And there's a guy like doing drive-bys on like a motocross motorcycle. Oh, this guy's a real stunt master is what he is. And just every episode be like like totally Power Rangers it, like have a villain of the week, and it's like trying to break down like who's funding all these people, who's doing this shit. That would be fun. And then be like, ooh, I'm Leland Owlsley Jr. I'm the owl son from season 1. You killed my father probably or something, and now I'm using my money to get back at you by funding all these crazy assholes.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. The really cool. What I would really like is if they like, if for some reason this show gets put on like the Disney app and it's more integrated into the larger MCU. I'd like to see like Black Widow appear.
That would be, again, many great Daredevil stories has Black Widow in it. In fact, for a long time, I'm sure people just thought Black Widow was a supporting character in Daredevil.
Yeah, or like I'd like to see like maybe, like maybe like a Spider-Man show up or something. Like both of them team up or something.
That would be very, very fun. Again, I think there's a really stellar like gang war storyline they could do where it's like, oh, the gangs from Queens are going to war with the gangs of Hell's Kitchen. and so they get pulled into it. And again, I really want Tombstone in one of these goddamn things. Can Tombstone be a villain in one of these? I literally, my pitch for Tombstone was to be the villain of Luke Cage season 2 and give him the story that Bushwhacker had. Like, literally, that was going to be the thing.
You know what you do with Tombstone, right? For Daredevil, so like Dogs of Hell and all that have been wiped out. You make Tombstone like he is in the Spider-Man video game, where he's like a biker, and he's like the new biker gang in town who's taken over from all of these, like the ones the Punisher got rid of. So yeah, and then he becomes like a villain for Daredevil.
It's hard to be a gangster in New York right now. You had all the original gang lords wiped out in Defenders and wiped out. The Triad got decimated in Iron Fist season 2. You had all these new gang lords in this one who have also been decimated either by Fisk or they died at the party. We don't know. It's hard being a gangster. That's why we also need the Magia is what we need. We need like friggin' Madame Mask or someone.
They're on someone was like, they were like working at the crime families, and Magia was noted as one of the crime families. It had, I can't remember whose name was under it, but yeah, they are in that world. But yeah, they do need to be brought in.
We need like Silverman or something to be like, hey, you know what? The Kingpin, his vendettas with superheroes have cost us way too much money. We need to go back to how things used to be. We need to like do crime as it was, you know, in suits and everything.
Oh, you know what would be really, really cool and like so different? Like, it's not set in New York anymore. It's set in like Madripoor.
Oh, he needs to take a road trip to Madripoor.
Yeah, and then he tangles with like all the like the criminal elements there and everything, like maybe Viper or something, or
that would be fun.
Some maybe like the hand, like some like little sect of the Hand there or something.
That would be cool. That would be really cool.
And you make it like a big like a Hong Kong karate movie.
Ooh, I like that. I like it. There's lots of places they could take Daredevil.
Yeah, I just hope that I hope that he gets a season 4. Or it gets put on that the Disney app or something. Something happens with him, because wasting this cast, especially Charlie Cox, you can't do that. You can't do that.
It would be a crying shame.
Yeah.
It really, really would be.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, we just need to see the Kingpin tangled with Spider-Man like an Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, oh, that'd be so cool.
We need to see Vincent
just
D'Onofrio
throwing around Tom Holland.
Yeah, we just need to pick him up over his head and throw him against shit. That's what we need to see. We need an adult man in a white suit beating up a small child. Make all our dreams come true.
That'd be great.
D'Onofrio's being cute about it on Twitter, where they're like, oh, you know, I'm sad we'll never get to see Kingpin fight Spider-Man, to which D'Onofrio's like, who says?
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, he's a big guy as well, so, like, he could just, like, walk in and say, like, I'm going to be in the next Spider-Man, they'd have to be, okay.
And then you get him to hire the Enforcers, Ox, Fancy Dan, and everything else, so you can have that reference in there as well. Which, that's fun too, because again, this Tom Holland guy, he fought one super burglar and then he fought some aliens. I like the idea of him fighting like some real organized crime dudes. And him being like, whoa, this shit got real too quick for me.
Yeah, so they're killing people. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Which, again, that's the scene in Ultimate Spider-Man where the Kingpin's like, look, I'm not going to shoot you with a ray gun. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to kill your family. I'm going to kill everyone you go to school with. I'm going to kill everyone you've crossed on the street just because I can. And you're fucking with me and my money. But yeah, that was Daredevil season 3, everyone. Really, really solid stuff. It's a shame not more people saw it, apparently.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It is totally worth it. Absolutely worth it.
And I guess Matt and I will be back again to do this for Jessica Jones and probably The Punisher, and then maybe nothing else.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I really hope they don't cancel like Punisher and Jessica Jones. Those shows are really good.
They really are. Especially Jessica Jones, as I've said before, I think is the most unique in terms of voice for these shows. Like if you twisted my arm, I would say it might be my favorite, even though I think season 2 kind of lost its way near the end.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because by the end, it's like, oh, so our driving force and drama was never actually there to begin with, and our villains weren't really villains. So nothing was ever really at stake. And also, what is it? The best friend needed to go crazy, too. For seemingly no reason. And we'll talk about that next season. type of hand wave.
Oh, God.
Also, it just hits me too. Matt sees the ghosts of Kingpin, sees the ghost of his father. Jessica Jones sees the ghosts of what is it?
Purple Man.
Of Purple Man. So it's like, goddamn, does everyone in this show see ghosts? Everyone in this universe?
Except Frank, he doesn't get to see the ghosts of his families.
No, oh, that's sad. He'd like to though, but he can't.
Yes, everyone else gets to see ghosts, but me.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, so I guess that's the show for this week, everyone. It wasn't as long as I thought, but, it's quality, not quantity.
Yep.
Covered lots of different topics, had a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
You got anything interesting coming out, Matt, in the next little bit you want to talk about, you want to hype up?
Well, I'm just catching up on my comic reviews, but I've got like a bunch of topic videos and specialty videos that I've got like just waiting for me to get to.
Likewise, people keep saying bring back Secret Identity. I had one on a Wonder Woman character, but then they kept changing the time frame for the release of that movie. Did you see those fake screens they had of potential like lineups for DC movies?
Yeah.
Aquaman, King dead. I say you, he dead. Or Batman, the daddiest. I'm like, man, I think you just need to make those movies now.
Yeah, then Wonder Woman 2046.
Wait, so she goes further into the future? How does that work? I just want to see Aquaman, the King dead. King dead. I say you, he dead. I say you. All right, everyone. I think on that note, we can start bringing this one to a close. Of course, if you're a patron, you'll get to listen to this first before anyone else for as little as $1 a month. It really helps out me and Matt, keeps the show afloat over on SoundCloud, where the show is actually put up on Thursdays. For those who would like a audio version to download and carry around with them, that's SoundCloud and iTunes. People seem to enjoy that. And obviously the video version goes out today that you're probably watching this, which is Wednesday at 8 a.m. So,
Yep, patrons get that first as well.
They do. They also get a video version. So, yeah, that's basically it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad to be back. It felt weird skipping a week because I was away.
Felt like really long.
It did feel incredibly long, and then all day today, I'm like, oh, I have nothing to do today. I'm like, oh, no, wait, shit, it's Sunday. I got a show to do. I got to stop playing Red Dead for a minute. So, yeah, thank you, everyone, for showing up and watching and listening. We hope you liked the show, and we'll be back again. Same Comic Multiverse time, same Comic Multiverse place. Bye-bye.
Bye.